أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمنا بنور الفهم وافتح علينا بمعرفة العلم وسهل أخلاقنا بالحلم واجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك وصل اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How's everyone today?
Alhamdulillah, how's Maulana?
Good, good. Alhamdulillah. I make dua that you're all well, man. And I hope that you had a nice holiday last weekend. Um, by the grace of Allah.
How was Maulana's holiday?
Oh, very nice. I went for a little walk in the hell, Constantia. Beautiful place. You must go, inshallah.
I think if holidays are so lekker, we must get them more often, inshallah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get into our work. We were busy with Man Kasar al-Asnam. You guys had some homework to do there for me. Um, and that was page 27 and 28 was for homework. So what we'll do is we'll read through those two pages, check their meanings, do some classwork, and then get back to Surah Al-Alaq bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So yeah, let's do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read. You guys can read with me, and then we'll translate. What we'll do is let's read the previous chapter together. Now, we're just going to read this, right? And now what I want you to do whilst reading it is try and recall the meanings whilst reading it. And you may think, well, how am I going to do that? That's supposed to be happening through, constantly reading the story all the time, being exposed to the words and trying to recall the meanings. If not the translation, the meanings of the words, like just associate the meaning with the sound, and hopefully that will help you. But it comes with repetition. Really, that's important. I know we just do we do 2 pages in the class, we work through another 1 page, we have some more homework. But what it's extremely important for you guys to actually in your private time read in when you just revising your work, read the whole story, read it from the beginning, such that you build up an understanding of the words and they actually stick in your head, inshallah. So we'll read page 25 and 26. We're just going to read that. And then we'll go through 27 and 28 with their meanings, bismillah ta'ala. Right? So 1, 2, 3, let's go. Bismillah. دعوة الوالد. وأراد إبراهيم أن يدعو والده أيضا فقال له يا أبت لم تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا يبصر ولم تعبد ما لا ينفع ولا يضر يا أبت لا تعبد الشيطان يا أبت اعبد الرحمن وغضب والد إبراهيم وقال أنا أضربك فتركني ولا تقل شيئا وقال له أنا أذهب من هنا وأدعو ربي وتأسف إبراهيم جدا وأراد أن يذهب إلى بلد آخر ويعبد ربه ويدعو الناس إلى الله. I don't remember going through the meanings of that in class. Did we do that?
No, Maulana, I think that was homework. I think
That last page, eh?
I think so, Maulana.
Page 27 to 28 was homework.
Okay, then you did 26 in class, but we didn't go through the meanings yet. So I'm going to do that now, inshallah. Right? Because I clearly don't remember doing that. وغضب والد إبراهيم وقال وغضب and became angry. Who became angry? والد Ibrahim, the father of Ibrahim, وقال, and he said, meaning the father of Ibrahim said, أنا أضربك. أنا, I, ضرب يضرب, to hit. أنا أضربك, I will hit you. فاتركني. ترك يترك, to leave. So leave me. ولا تقل شيئا, and do not say anything. وقال, and he said, له, to him. And so Ibrahim's father said to Ibrahim, أنا أذهب, or rather Ibrahim said to his father, أنا أذهب من هنا وأدعو ربي. I will leave from here and call upon my Lord. وأدعو ربي, and I will call upon my Lord. I'll make dua to my Lord. وتأسف إبراهيم جدا. Ibrahim became very sad. وأراد أن يذهب إلى بلد آخر. And he intended to go to another city. ويعبد ربه ويدعو الناس إلى الله. And he intended to worship his Lord and to call the people to Allah. If at any point you have a question, don't hesitate to unmute yourself and ask the question. We don't have our chat. Yeah, we don't have our chat feature on today, so you're gonna have to either put your hand up or just speak. So, Tawfiq?
Wonder for the first line on that page, what was the translation of the last part from fatrukni?
Fatrukni. So there's a fa, right? And then there's amr, utrukni. Taraka yatruku means to leave, right? So utruk means leave, me, leave me.
So,
Basically, Ibrahim's father is commanding Ibrahim, leave me, like leave me alone. Right? And then the last part is وَلَا تَقُلْ. The verb is قَالَ. يَقُولُ means to say. Right? When I want to command someone to say something, then I say قُل. قُل. And when I want to prohibit him, I want to say don't say. Then I say لَا تَقُلْ. لَا تَقُلْ. How do we get there? Must I show you how we get there? The verb is قَالَ. Right? The present tense is يقول. قال is actually originally قَوَلَ. قَوَلَ. Now, remember when we form the command, right? When we form the command, then where do we form the command verb from?
let's look at the U1 male.
The second person, right? So if we go down the scale, right, we'll have, I'm just going to put some dots here. So, يقول, يقولون, تقول, يقولن. And then we're going to have تقول, right? Okay, but now, how do we now go on from there to forming the amr?
Sukun on the last letter.
We put a, okay, two things, right? Don't we usually put a hamza at the beginning? We drop the ta at the beginning, right? Isn't that, don't we do that? So if I have the verb taf'alu, what the first thing I do is I drop the ta at the beginning and I replace it with a hamza, right?
Oh yes, one. I'm thinking of the prohibition one.
Right? Okay. Now, how's that gonna look? And I put the sukoon at the end as well. Is that correct? But now
Yes,
we have a bit of a
Dhamma.
problem here. We have a bit of a problem here. I can't have two sukoons next to each other. I can't have two sukoons next to each other. That's like a rule. Right? So what happens? The weak must die. So I'm left with this Hamza that doesn't really need to be there. Because usually the Hamza is there just so that I can say it. I can't start with the sukoon. Okay, I'm just going to go through the process quickly with fa'ala. I'm going to put a blank screen on here. Just follow me, right? So this is generally how we form our. Oh, well, this is like looking super weird, but okay. We start off with the present tense scale. Tafa'alu. Right? That's what we do. Then we say, well, okay. I'm going to drop the ta at the beginning. Right? And I'm going to put the sukoon at the end. Right? The dhamma drops away and I'm going to put the sukoon at the end. But now I can't start with the sukoon. You can't pronounce a letter with a sukoon. You have to have some haraka before it. So to have that haraka there, I put a hamza. Then I decide which haraka do I put on this hamza. Either it's going to be a I or U. I look at the second root letter. If it's a I or A on there, then I put the I. If it's a U, then I put the U. But also you must remember this is hamzatul wasl. What does hamzatul wasl mean? It means whenever I can read through it, I'm just going to read straight through it. For example, if I put a fa here, if I put a fa here, then I'm not going to read fa if'al, I'm just going to read fa fa'al, like we had fatruk. You're following this? Does anybody have any questions on that? If you have, then ask. I'm going to give you another example. I have the verb taraka yatruku. I go to the second person, becomes tatruku. Tatruku. Now what do? I want to change it into a command. I drop the ta at the beginning and I put the sukoon at the end. Keep everything else the same. But I can't start with pronouncing a letter with a sukoon. So what I do is I put the hamzatul wasl at the beginning. How do I pronounce the hamzatul wasl? If there's a U on the second root letter, I say a U. So I'm going to say utruk. But if I put something before it like a wow or fa, then I'm just going to read straight through fatruk. Okay. Everybody following me there? Like if'al, utruk. Those are the normal, when we learned this, the command scale, you would have covered that. So if there's no questions there, then I'm going to move to the one that we're dealing with here now. Cool. The verb is taqulu. Taqulu. I want to make it into a command. So what happens? I drop the ta at the beginning, I put the sukoon at the end. But now I have a problem. Okay, now firstly, before I go to that problem, do I need to put a hamza at the beginning? Remember now I don't have a sukoon at the beginning. I only needed to put the hamza at the beginning in the previous two. I only needed to put the hamza in the previous two because I couldn't start by pronouncing a letter with a sukoon. But yeah, I don't have a letter with a sukoon at the beginning. So I don't need to put that hamza there. But I do have another problem. The other problem that I have is that I have two sukoons next to each other. Now in Arabic, you can never have two sukoons next to each other. So I have to get rid of one of them. Which one can I get rid of? Well, if I have a weak letter and a strong letter, the weak must die. So I'm now left with kul. I'm left with kul. Does everybody follow me there? I didn't need to put the hamza at the beginning because I didn't have a sukoon on the first letter. And I can't have two sukoons next to each other, therefore the weak must die. Right? I dropped the weak one. Now what we have over here is a similar thing. Instead of creating the amals, we were creating the nahi. Let's look at how do we form the nahis of these things. Number one, first thing I do is I add a la at the beginning. And then I add a sukoon at the end. La. Taf. Al. I put a la at the beginning and a sukoon at the end, but the ta stays there. Tatruk will be what? What will tatruk be? Oh, sorry, what will tatruku be? The nahi.
لا تترك لا تترك.
La tatruk. Perfect. Okay. Now, what will taqulu be? I put the la at the beginning. I keep everything the same, but I put the sukoon at the end. But now the problem is I have two sukoons next to each other. So what do I do when I have two sukoons next to each other? I have to get rid of one of them. How do I get rid of one of them? Which one am I going to get rid of?
A weak letter must drop.
A weak letter must die. A weak must die. So I'm left with what? La taqul. And if we go back to here, can you guys see my screen now? What are you seeing on the screen?
The blank sheet with Marina trying to explain now the latest rules.
Okay. So I'm going to change that. Now you see Man Kasra's name again, right? So
yes,
what we're dealing with over here now is this word here, la taqul. Do you see where this word la taqul came from now? That's the nahi. We form this nahi from the verb taqulu, and then we change it to la taqul. Do not say. Do not say. Right? It is a nahi, prohibition. Do not say. So we have here Ibrahim's father saying what? Ana adribuka. I will hit you. Fa utrukni. Fatrukni. So leave me. So he gives him a command. Leave me, and he gives him a prohibition. La taqul, and do not say. What must he not say? Shay'an, anything. Oh, shay'an literally means a thing. Do not say a thing. But when you have that indefinite, then it will mean don't say anything. Does that answer your question, Tawfiq?
Yes,
I will hit
Maulana.
you. So
Shukran.
leave me and don't say a thing.
Perfect. Shukran.
Afwan. Okay. وقال له, and he said to him, أنا أذهب من هنا وأدعو ربي. أنا أذهب, I will leave من هنا, from here. وأدعو ربي, and I will call my Lord, or I will supplicate to my Lord. I'll make dua to my Lord. وتأسف إبراهيم جدا. Ibrahim became very sad. تأسف, become sad. جدا, very. Ibrahim became very sad. وأراد أن يذهب إلى بلد آخر. أراد, and he wanted أن يذهب, to go, إلى بلد آخر, to بلد آخر, another city. ويعبد ربه, and to worship his Lord. ويدعو الناس إلى الله, and to call the people, you can see that's the maf'ul, and to call the people إلى الله, to Allah. Right. Any questions there? What you can see, this verb is supposed to be يذهب. This verb is supposed to be يذهب, يعبده. This is supposed to be just يدعو, but يدعوه. All of them have changed because of this and that's why I said, instead of saying يذهب, he is worshipping, I just said to worship. يعبده, instead of saying he is worshipping, I translated it as to worship. And instead of saying, and يدعو, instead of saying he is calling, I translated it as to call. What caused that change? This an over here. Okay, now we move on. إلى مكة. إلى مكة. إلى مكة means to Mecca. Implying there's something left out before, implying, he went to Mecca. وغضب قوم إبراهيم وغضب الملك وغضب والد إبراهيم. غضب, you can hear from the sound of the word already what it's going to mean. وغضب قوم إبراهيم. And قوم إبراهيم, this is a مضاف إلى construction. The people of Ibrahim became angry. وغضب الملك, and the king became angry. وغضب والد إبراهيم, and Ibrahim's father, or the father of Ibrahim, became angry. وأراد إبراهيم أن يسافر إلى بلد آخر. And Ibrahim wanted to travel. Again, we have this an, which is going to cause me to, instead of translating yusafira as he is traveling, to translate it as to travel. And Ibrahim wanted to travel إلى بلد آخر, to another city. ويعبد فيه الله, and to worship فيه, in it, in that balad, Allah. He wanted to worship Allah. You can see that's the maf'ul. ويدعو الناس إلى الله, and to call the people to Allah. وخرج إبراهيم من بلده وودع والده. Ibrahim left his city, or left from his city. وودع والده, and he bade farewell, or he bade farewell to his father. ودع, you know from here, wada'. And I'm sure you'll, in Cape Town here, how they sing al-wada'. Right? Wada'an means to, like, when you see someone off, or to bid farewell. So Ibrahim left from his city, and he, is it bade or bode? Bade. I'm not too sure now. I think it's he bade farewell to his father. Yeah, he bade farewell. وقصد إبراهيم مكة ومعه زوجته هاجر. Ibrahim intended, or he set off for Mecca. ومعه, and with him was زوجته هاجر, his wife Hajar. وكانت مكة ليس فيها عشب ولا شجر. And, so he's now speaking about Mecca, when they got to Mecca, or rather even before they got to Mecca, he says, and Mecca did not have, or كانت مكة ليس فيها. It just means there was not in Mecca. There was not in Mecca عشب. What is it? That construction at the beginning of the sentence, you can see it's a little bit maybe abnormal, but it just means it's placing the emphasis on Mecca. It's telling that Mecca is the subject of the sentence. وكانت مكة ليس فيها. You could have just said وليس في المكة or في مكة. But sorry. Sorry, just give me a second. I have a very important call that I need to take. Just give me a second. Sorry about that, man. It's something that my teacher wanted to me to do for him. So obviously I had to respond. So yeah. Okay, back to where we were. وكانت مكة ليس فيها. We could have just said وليس في مكة. But what this does is it makes Mecca the focus of the sentence. وكانت مكة ليس فيها. And Mecca ليس فيها, there was not فيها in it. وها is her, but it refers to Mecca. You can see Mecca is feminine. عشب means what? A greenery, pastures. ولا شجر, shajar is trees. So, and there was not in Mecca any pastures or trees. And Mecca, there was not وكانت مكة ليس فيها حيوان ولا بشر. And Mecca, there was not in it حيوان, any animal, ولا بشر, no any person. ووصل إبراهيم إلى مكة ونزل فيها. And Ibrahim وصل, arrived at Mecca, ونزل فيها, and settled in it or descended in it. Or you could even say they dismount. Nazala literally means to go from a higher place to a lower place. You can say he dismounted in it, he settled in it. Yeah. وترك إبراهيم زوجته هاجر وولده إسماعيل. ترك, to leave. وترك إبراهيم, and Ibrahim left زوجته هاجر, his wife Hajar, وولده إسماعيل, and his son Ismail. ولما أراد إبراهيم أن يذهب قالت زوجته هاجر. ولما and when, that's a very important word, you must remember that. ولما and when أراد إبراهيم. Ibrahim intended أن يذهب, to leave or to go. قالت زوجته هاجر. His wife Hajar said, إلى أين يا سيدي؟ إلى أين يا سيدي? To, إلى literally means to. أين means where. إلى أين, to where? يا سيدي, oh my husband. Sayyid can be used to mean master as well. But in Arabic, a husband and wife would refer to each other as Sayyidati and Sayyidi as well. It means my husband, my wife. It's like a affectionate way of referring to your spouse. إلى أين يا سيدي? To where, oh my husband? Like meaning, where are you?
Is it just me or was Maulana breaking up?
No,
Frozen, frozen.
It's not just you.
Assalamu alaikum. What happened?
Walaikum salam. We're on our own.
Oh,
I think Cornit, you can take over. Cornit, Bismillah.
Only if you want to be misguided.
Am I back now?
Yes, Maulana.
Okay. So where did you guys hear last? I hope it wasn't
Ila
long ago.
aina ya Maulana?
Where all my
Okay. Alhamdulillah. That's a good usage of what we just learned, mashallah. إلى أين يا سيدي? So I actually just got stuck. But anyways, my probably internet dropped or something. إلى أين يا سيدي? To where, oh my husband, she asked him. Like meaning, where are you going? أتتركني هنا? Are you leaving me here? The Hamza at the beginning there, as I don't know if you got it or what, but that Hamza there at the beginning makes a sentence into a question. Then we have tatruku and the ni. Tatruku, you are leaving, ni, me. Atatrukuni, are you leaving me? Huna, here. She then says, Atatrukuni, are you leaving me? Walaysa huna, whilst laysa, not huna, here, ma'un, water, wala ta'amun, no food. So she's saying, are you leaving me here whilst there is no food, or there is no water, no food here? And then she asks, هل أمرك الله بهذا? هل أمرك الله بهذا? هل also makes a sentence into a question. أمرك الله. أمر means to command. The fa'il is Allah, as you can see. The maf'ul is ka. هل أمرك الله? Did Allah command you بهذا, with this? قال إبراهيم نعم. Ibrahim said yes. قالت هاجر. Hajar said إذن لا يضيعنا. إذن means then, or in that case. لا يضيعنا. ضيع, يضيع means to forsake someone. To forsake someone. Yeah, or to let something go lost. So it says إذن لا يضيعنا. إذن, in that case, لا يضيع. He will not forsake us. He will not forsake us. Meaning, if Allah has told you to leave us here, then Allah will not forsake us. And certainly we know the story of Hajar alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam. Allah did not forsake them. But we'll get more on that. Actually, what we'll do now is we'll see how Allah did not forsake them. Let's do just page number 29. Maybe just the first 3 lines of page number 29. Let's take about 7 minutes or so for that. And then we'll come back to do our Quran session bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Right, so we're going to break away into our breakaway groups now. And then just for about 7 minutes or so, you know what to do. Read the line, try, maybe I think just for saving time, read the line together and then let each person try and do a translation and work through some of the structures that you find in these sentences and help each other with that. The purpose of the groups is that you can engage, you can speak about what you're learning, and in speaking about it, hopefully it will become solidified. And if my explanation doesn't do well for you, maybe one of your classmates' explanations will simplify things better for you. And in helping each other, Allah will help us. So let's get into our groups.